There are moments in time when I wonder, how could I be anywhere else?
In today's episode of our U.S. Overlanding series, we take you into Death Valley National Park. We get to drive a Gladiator for the very first time and give you our thoughts. We show you how we repaired our roof rack yet once again, and then we take you to what is probably my favorite spot that we've ever camped at so far. So strap on your seatbelt and let's get started. When we last left off on our U.S. Overlanding video series, we had just completed the Moab Road, which was absolutely incredible. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But now we were headed to Pahrump, Nevada to meet with a friend of ours, Robert, known as Waltzing Matilda JT on Instagram. He's a California Highway Patrol officer whose beat is Death Valley National Park. Doesn't get much better than that. So we headed over to his place, met up with him, and then took off for a special treat. And he is taking us out in his Jeep Gladiator to Death Valley National Park. And so there's Robert driving. Thank you, Robert, for having us.
Anytime.
And there's Caspian in the back and Brittany. And this
Gladiator
is
trip.
Gladiator. Yeah, this is our first run in a Jeep Gladiator. We've never been in one. We're about to take one around the world. We've never been in a Jeep Gladiator, so we're really excited to have this experience and learn a little bit about this platform. The Gladiator was crazy smooth and we were really enjoying the ride. All of a sudden, Robert pulled over, got out and said, "You drive." And I couldn't resist. I had been wanting to drive a Gladiator for the longest time, so here we went. Holy smokes, okay.
488 gears, man. The lower ones, you
weren't lying.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm driving the Gladiator.
I know, how does it feel?
So the very first thing I noticed, besides the 488 gears that Robert put on this Jeep, which caused me to spin the tires, is just how smooth it is. Like, I'm so used to the JK, and the JK is just rough and rugged, and it almost feels like I'm driving a luxury vehicle. It did feel like a luxury vehicle, and driving it through Death Valley was awesome. We headed off to our first stop, which was called Zabriskie Point, which is where Robert wanted to show us first. Robert's been telling us all of the stories about his many years that he's worked out here as a law enforcement ranger. So here's a little interesting trivia for you that Robert was just telling us. Right behind these hills is where the famous scene that took place in the original Star Wars, A New Hope, with the Jawas and the Sandcrawler and R2-D2 and C-3PO and Obi-Wan Kenobi all took place back here behind these mountains. It was a great first stop, but now it was Brittany's turn to drive the Gladiator, so we headed back down and Brittany got behind the driver's seat. All right, Brittany is driving the Gladiator now.
With you.
First time driving. It's fun to see you doing that. What are the very, very first things you notice that's different from Guardian?
Just has a lot more get up and go than Guardian does.
I wasn't sure if we were ever going to get Brittany from behind that wheel, but Robert had another thing on the itinerary, and this was a neat treat, an oasis in the middle of the desert. So Robert is now showing us the Furnace Creek Inn. We get to go through a tunnel, and he tells us that there's a pretty amazing garden out here. So we are going to check this out. Apparently it's a 5-star hotel with some great food. We get to walk through a tunnel to get to the hotel. So yes, believe it or not, this is in the heart of Death Valley. Look at all this grass and this greenery at this hotel. There's little walking paths that go down below. Wow, look at that.
And explore and see the good stuff.
Okay.
So where else can you go where you just open a hallway door, go ahead and open it, and you walk straight into a tunnel?
Hey.
Let's face it, there aren't many cooler things than opening a door that leads to a mysterious tunnel and running down it, whether you're an adult or a 4-year-old. So we explored more of Death Valley, and Robert had access to some places in the park that most people don't get to see. We got to see some really cool stuff, but Guardian had been having problems with his roof rack, so we headed back to Robert's house to see if we could diagnose it and fix it once and for all. So we've been having nothing but problems with this roof rack attachment, this portion right here, and we are trying to come up with a final solution, at least until we get back to Denver. So we are trying something that has not been done before, and that's taking these plates off, and we're going to try something new. All right, so we've got our bags with all of our parts: passenger front, passenger center, passenger rear. And we are going to go to the hardware store and see if we can find something. Shout out to my friend Robert, Waltzing Matilda JT on Instagram, who is helping me diagnose and fix this problem, which has been a royal pain in the backside. We are going to do our best to make this happen and get it locked down. We are picking up some parts at the Home Depot here in Pahrump. Got veteran-only parking. Both Robert and I are veterans. Thank you to the Home Depot for recognizing veterans. And hopefully we find the parts we need. Last night we were at Home Depot late trying to get some parts, and they had zinc plated, but they didn't have stainless steel. We want stainless steel for out here to protect it from the elements. So this morning we woke up early and we're headed to another do-it-yourself hardware store that's in town that apparently has a better selection. We are at Pahrump Rentals and Hardware. This is the do-it-yourself shop that Robert was telling us about. Hopefully they have the stainless steel screws that we're looking for. And I love these kind of little places that you go to and find. And I know that when we drive around the world, we're going to be going to a lot of local places that probably have a lot less selection than this location has.
We just need to get some stainless steel bolts over here. We're fixing a roof rack on it.
Okay, I will try to get some light to you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that light stays on here. They got a little selection of hardware here.
This is the best place for.
As long as we're open. Well, we waited for you guys to open, so. All right, thank you, Pahrump Rentals and Hardware. They had exactly what we were looking for. We got all the pieces we need, and we are heading back to Robert's to make this thing happen.
There's no play on that one, right?
No.
So that's where the play's at.
Yeah. So all of these have been tightened down, these points right here. But there's a little play, so when you release these clips, when you release these two red clips, two bars come out that hold it in a place. And because of all the washboard and off-roading we've done, it's kind of caused this to have a little bit more gap. So we're going to try and put like a rubber gasket in here so it doesn't have as much play. Robert and I are a lot alike in that when there's a problem, we want to fix it, but fix it right, even over fix it. So we figured out a way to make this happen together, and we literally spent all day long doing this. We had hopes and aspirations of going back into Death Valley today, but this took the priority because it was our house, and I can't thank Robert enough, and Michelle, his beautiful bride, for giving me all of his day doing this. So thankful to have gotten this done.
It's a Tuesday morning and we are leaving our friends Robert and Michelle in Pahrump, Nevada. They have been the most amazing hosts and we're so grateful for them. We didn't get as much time in Death Valley as we expected, but our home is secure and that's definitely the priority. So we are on the road and we decided that we're going to
Utah!
Woohoo! Specifically Moab, which is a huge favorite of ours, but we're gonna take our time getting over there and show you our stops along the way.
And now for a public service announcement. It's possible to be well-intentioned but still cause damage to the area around you if you're not careful. In an effort to be helpful, we used to share our exact campsites with our community online. And granted, several things were true back then, like there weren't as many people on the road, plus all of our sites were pretty much documented on apps like Campandium and Overlander. But since educating ourselves, we've made a change. We no longer share our campsites on social media, we only share them with trusted friends in one-on-one conversations. This is a pivotal season for our public lands. There are so many more of us camping, yet public education is not keeping pace. Trash is being left behind, and what was once pristine land has become eroded and trampled by tires and people. So we're really careful about that. But our friends also share sites with us when they trust us to take care of them, and this is what happened. So we are heading to some coordinates that our friend Josh from Arizona told us about. And Josh runs one of the largest overlanding groups in Arizona, but he was up here not too long ago. And when he heard that we were coming into Utah, he sent me a private message with some coordinates. So hopeful that nobody's up here. See what this road is like to get back here. I want to give a shout out to Josh for telling us about this site. It is amazing up here. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you here. And we haven't even set up the tent. I'm just so excited about this spot. And check out these views. Look at this. Whoa. This is so cool. Look at these views. And it is a disturbed campsite, meaning it has already a fire ring that somebody built. So it is usable. And somebody even left some wood.
There are moments in time when I wonder, how could I be anywhere else? This has been an awesome campsite. Eric says it might be his favorite.
We ended up heading back down the mountain into town to get some work done. We got that knocked out, and it was still a long drive to Moab. We wanted to break it up with at least one more night, but we had no idea where we would be staying. So Brittany started doing some research and found us a little spot.
We are now in Fish Lake National Forest. We're on our way to Moab. We'll probably get to Moab tomorrow, but we wanted to make camp tonight. So we're currently on the Forest Service roads looking for a campsite.
We're at about 6,000 some odd feet, and Brittany found this spot just by looking at some Forest Service road maps on Gaia. We've got a beautiful group of trees. And what was really cute was that Brittany said that she was channeling her inner Kelsey. And that is a reference to our friends Tim and Kelsey at Dirt Sunrise, who we admire greatly, that go off-grid and have done so for years internationally, and just try and find remote places to camp. So shout out to Tim and Kelsey of Dirt Sunrise.
It's 8 p.m. here in Fish Lake National Forest. I just got Caspian to bed. I was noticing the clouds, and sure enough, it's gonna rain really soon, so I'm working on getting everything put away. It's cold and it's going to get colder. I think we're actually gonna take our propane heater up into the tent for the first time tonight. We only use it when we're supervising it, really just to get into bed and get out of bed in the morning, but I think we're gonna need it.
It did end up being a cold night, but we made it through with our sleeping bags and our heater and just snuggling up together. It was really nice. And the next morning required a little breakfast and a little song.
Be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, cherie, and we'll provide the rest. This is where you get up and start dancing.
And that is our life in a nutshell. A little song, a little breakfast, a whole lot of beautiful views, and a lot of miles and road behind us. We hope you've enjoyed this video and that you'll subscribe to our channel. Drop us a comment, let us know you're out there, give it a like if you enjoyed it. And next week we should be covering our trip into Moab. So be looking for that. Moab is one of our favorite places and we can't wait to share it with you. Enjoy.